Has anyone been to Chuck E. Cheese before? And if you guys remember, I love this place from a long time ago. And this is a character request. This is just one of the many reasons why, an example of why I love creating this series. Because I get to create ideas for characters that I haven't really heard of. And Mr. Munch, I don't really remember him. But he's one of the band members from Chuck E. Cheese. Chuck E. Cheese, the pizza place where you could play video game arcade. You could play the arcade. You could play all types of different games, and you could have different birthday parties and more. I'm curious to see if anyone out there remembers Chuck E. Cheese. I'm gonna try not to laugh. I'm gonna try to keep focused throughout this video, but it's so much fun. I had a lot of fun creating ideas for this character. Somebody wanted to see Mr. Munch from Chuck E. Cheese and Nickelodeon as a possibility, and anything you can suggest, almost any character, at least even if they're a Cartoon Network character, Disney. I had Disney character requests before, but we're gonna get into some Chuck E. Cheese vibes from this, and I didn't know who Mr. Munch was. I just didn't remember who he was, but he looked familiar, at least from the mascot, because when you go to Chuck E. Cheese, you can see different people dressed up in these costumes or in these mascots walking around the place, waving, taking pictures with everyone, and so much more. It's just so much fun being there, and just the arcade games. I just remember playing Jurassic Park and having so many tokens, and then trying to use your tickets. You can use the tickets to purchase prizes at Chuck E. Cheese, and so much more as you play these games. And I like that spider mini game, just to share some of these memories before I get into it. I think it was like a queen spider, and you had to crush the other red spiders. And she would talk trash to you as whenever you missed the stump. The button of that particular spider that you have to stomp on or crush will light up for a limited amount of time, and as the game goes on, it'll disappear a lot faster. So you have to have quick reactions to be able to get to them all, and try to get as much points as you can. And the more you get, you're going to be able to get additional tickets as your reward. And as you play these games, you're going to need tokens, those gold tokens and more, when you go to the arcade to play these arcade games or whatever it is that you're interested in. And then I think there was another one where you could use like the water guns, and they have like a nice little song playing and music, and it's like a derby race, and just so many mini games that I play. It's just all the memories coming through. So I'm glad that this character came up, and just for the memories of Chuck E. Cheese, even though it's silly, it might come off silly, it's still fun. It makes this series so much fun and interesting, and continues to become unique, because it's characters that I haven't seen before, and characters of shows that I have yet to see, and just other recent ones, for example, like Cap and Mikey, that I really got into, glitch text I didn't even know about from Netflix, and more. So I done those characters as well. But now it's much time. So before I start talking about my ideas or what I came up with him for his moveset and more, let's talk about the backstory. And what I'm also gonna do, I'm just gonna keep this particular information in the description so people can see it. If you guys want to read it yourself, you can. And if you want to look up some of these band members, you can. Some of them I don't even remember. I didn't even know these names as well. But Mr. Munch is from, or basically RockStar Munch, but I don't know which version of Mr. Munch they will get in this game. But I'm gonna get into that when I get to the alternate costumes. But Munch, basically, this character is from Planet Purple alongside of Munch Jr. and the rest of his siblings. So he wasn't really a part of Planet Earth. He spent most of his time practicing the keyboard and researching other planets when he wasn't part of Earth in the living world, for the human world. So upon landing, it's just basically the story that I looked up. Upon landing in New York City, he became infatuated with pizza. It was something that he never seen before. Even though it sounds silly, but this is a story. He became infatuated with the pizza that he had only seen in his studies. So he liked this. He liked the visual of how this particular food looks from pizza. This is how he ended up in Chuck E. Cheese. And when he ended up in Chuck E. Cheese, he ended up joining the band who plays uh he ended up joining the band and ended up playing the lead and backing vocals for keyboards and the piano. That was his special, or his role. The instruments and his roles for being a part of this band. And the band that I'm talking about is the ones, or the characters who perform on stage. Now you will probably get some Five Nights at Freddy's vibes just looking at this character. It look kind of scary. He looks scary. Because just when you play Five Nights at Freddy's, those are animatronics. They are also animatronics too. Mr. Munch, Chucky, and all the other band members. And for this, all these different characters, I'm going to be able to name them too, for this particular video, so you guys can. It's just more additional information if you guys want to look them up. They are animatronics too. So it's a little scary just thinking about it. Just with the Five Nights at Freddy's, with the characters and more. But I don't want to leave it on this menu. Let's just open the roster. But I don't know, and they could probably do something different by getting him in this game. That would be really funny. So just to continue, but that's just his whole story and how he ended up on Earth. And he found out that the pizza was originated from Earth. So that's why he was so interested in this, from his based on his research. So he ended up dropping or landing out of a UFO into the planet Earth, and discovering, wanting to find out more about his research for this pizza. So the band members, I'll just talk about the band members that they all played together. You got Chuck E. Cheese, who is the lead and backing vocals. Helen Henny, Jasper Jowls, and I just put the roles in there. Acoustic and electric guitars. You got Pasqually Pieplate, Moon, Building, Wink, Pizzacam. So just a little bit of information about these guys. Wink, he winks after every show. Pizzacam, he's the backing vocals and announcer. And then Munch Jr, he dances and bounces to the music as they play. But that's the band. I don't remember all these characters. Some of them are new, like Building, Wink, and Pizzacam. I don't remember all these characters, because when I went, I always saw Chuck E. Cheese, and then I think I remember seeing Mr. Munch, but I didn't know this was his name, full of purple and all. So that's the band members and basically the other animatronics. So it's just scary just thinking about his Five Nights at Freddy's. It's just the vibes and more. So that's his backstory of getting to know the character. You know, just again, he's from Planet Purple, and he ended up joining this band, and now he's a part of them, and they perform on stage. So if you go, I'm not sure how it is today. If you go there now, you'll be able to probably see these characters and some of these band members and more. But just to get into the stages to get this started, it's obviously one ideal stage where he can be in, where we can be able to battle, and if they add him in, just for the possibility to make it something realistic, it's gonna take place and go down at Chuck E. Cheese. So this is the ideal location based on where he ended up and his discovery of his friends and the band members with Chucky and company. Chucky the Rat and more. They changed his look too, so he look a lot different now than what he used to. But his band could be just a little idea, battling that out in Chuck E. Cheese with all the arcades. I can really see this being a nice stage too. You know, just from the indoors, somebody can go up in Chuck E. Cheese and really just get a glimpse of what it's like on the inside. But his band could be performing in the background on stage as a nice little design, and they could be they could be rooting and cheering for him in the background, and they could probably play special songs for him. But I don't want to say, well, he gets a power bonus when they play his music, and within each and every cheer from the animatronics, it'll increase his power. But I'm not gonna do that. That wouldn't be fair. Overpowered for the Chuck E. Cheese stage. But I really think this is really good. This will be a really good idea for them to add as a little stage for his DLC pack. Chuck E. Cheese coming out with Mr. Munch. But so alternate costumes, this this is something that I did some digging for because I didn't know there was different versions of him, and he actually ended up replacing some of these characters from some of the other band members, and they brought out newer characters or different versions of Mr. Munch. So they could come out with any one of these. I'm not sure which one could be his original costume. See how some of these characters they have their fresh original look. Mr. Munch can have all types of variety. He can have several different alternate costumes for paid DLC. But whichever version that they choose to come out with, that'll be completely up to the devs. But I put them all in the chat, well, basically in this description, at least, just to chat about more of the alternate costumes that he could wear. So he had different eras in which he looked different and he wore different things. So what you see now, what you guys see now when you check this video out, whenever y'all choose to, if interested, you will see only those are only two parts of him, two different eras of him. So Tux Era, he had the green hat and green shoes, which is what you see now. And then the Avenger Era Munch, he had the Eat More shirt without any shoes. And then he had the RockStar Era Munch, no pants, all purple, when he was all purple, completely purple. I think this was the one that I've seen from a long time ago during the RockStar Era Munch, but they changed them. And then now, when you guys check this out, outside of the Tux Era, you see his classic orange Eat More shirt. So we have his classic orange Eat More shirt, which you see from today, and then the Tux Era. So two different versions of Mr. Munch, but he looks so different from the other two because he didn't have any pants, and they just had his purple body, and it just looks crazy scary. He looks a little bit more scary and intimidating a little bit. But they can make a scary game like this. I really think they can. Something similar to Five Nights at Freddy's. But those are just the alternate costumes that I came up with. And you guys can look these up if you want to take a look at the different versions of him and different eras of Mr. Munch. And you'll notice the change of his looks and the things that he wears. And the green hat, shoes only, and then no pants. And then you'll have just the shoes, or maybe no hat, but just the orange shirt that he wears with the pizza on it. It says Eat More. But that actually gave me an idea for his moveset too. Just something unique. But Taunts and animations, just something a little bit short and sweet. I didn't come up, it was very difficult to come up with different things that he could say. But his main catchphrase was thank you very much. He could say something like that. And see how we got voice lines? He's gonna be able to say something. He's gonna be able to talk. But a perfect winning animation, I even put the song lyrics in here. You can look the song up. He can do the Chucky dance for a winning animation. That'll be really funny to see. It's a cool little song. Do the Chucky dance. So he can be doing all that. That's a little idea for his winning animation. But I'm not sure what else he could possibly say, but just looking it up, his go-to catchphrase was thank you very much. And it's just dancing. And there's a lot of different variety of songs that they can play. So the song that I just dropped the link for the Chucky dance, you guys can be able to look up if you want to. That's gonna be listed too. That's just one of the songs, one of many songs. Those are the songs that some of the band or the animatronics of his friends can be able to play in the background. But I'm not sure how that'll play out, but it's gonna be really unique. I think it's gonna be one of the best looking stages in the game. They don't have a dance studio or any sort of stage in the background with people playing and performing music, so this will really be amazing to see. So a very good character and a good idea to really try to bring him in for someone different and very unpredictable. But those are all that I could really come up with for taunts and animations. I didn't want to just try to do all the digging of all the different songs. There's other different songs that they perform on stage and more that can be implemented to be able to play. But I think that doing the Chucky dance will be a perfect winning animation for him. So just some little ideas, but let me know what you guys think. But now it's time for the moveset. I really had fun with this and tried to be as creative as I could, just trying to come up with ideas for him to make it make sense. But now it's Munch time, and that's the first thing that I came up with for his first move. So Mr. Munch can attack the enemy with a series of bites. Munch, munch, munch. So he can combo you. See how Lucy, she's the, who else can bite you in this game? It's only Lucy and SpongeBob are the only characters that can bite you in this game. But you can charge up the bite a little bit, because the longer you hold it down, he's gonna be able to get you at a further range. But she just has a single bite, and within each bite, it changes her ability. So it's really unique in a way. But for him, I just came up with him as a little bit of light attack. So he's gonna bite you more than once. So it's Munch time. So since considering the fact that he's a pianist and he plays the piano and the keyboard, I came up with piano strike. So as a neutral strong, where Mr. Munch can smack you with his keyboard to showcase his talent. So that's just some kind of neutral strong move. You see how he can hold the keyboard? He can just be able to throw, smack you with his keyboard and hit you with it. Some kind of little strong attack. And maybe he can make little musical noises. They can really add that for something really unique for his musical talent. Because they don't have anybody else in the roster that has something to do with music other than Squidward's clarinet, which is an item, but it's not a character. So, moving on, something unique. See how his shirt says "Eat More" is one of his little slogans. Mr. Munch can eat slices of pizza since he's so infatuated with pizza, and that's what drove him to want to come to the planet Earth. Since he loves pizza so much, and it caught his attention, why not have it be utilized as something that he can, a unique ability? So Mr. Munch can eat slices of pizza to recover health. So that'll be something cool. Michelangelo is the only character that eats a slice of pizza for her taunt. Maybe that could also be something associated with it, almost something similar. But maybe Mr. Munch can eat a whole box of pizza. But instead of doing a taunt, I came up with it as a unique healing ability. So for him, so eat more. So the player can't spam, they can just do it every now and then. So it goes on a cooldown period. So that'll be very overpowered if you can continuously eat pizza. Maybe they could do that, but just to make sure he doesn't really recover too much hit points. In comparison, when you eat a Krabby Patty in this game, you get a lot of health back. So this could be something unique for him. Eat more, eating slices of pizza every now and then to recover. So he wants to try to get back and you get enough time to try to eat some pizza, he can get a couple slices to recover. Maybe it can recover his health gradually. They can probably do something like that. But I won't put that in the moveset, but that'll just be something that they can do just to play around with to fit that balance. Next move is Mic Drop, something more musical, aerial attack. So I was thinking about Tom and Jerry from Multiverses of how he can drop dynamite in air, and he'll drop pieces of dynamite in midair. Why not have Mr. Munch? He'll be able to drop different microphones. So Mr. Munch can drop mics from midair onto the ground that can explode on impact. See what I'm saying? So that'll be a really good idea for this little moveset to fit his music, the music theme, and being a performer and more. And a character I was thinking about, he's pretty big, so I gave him belly groove. So Mr. Munch can knock the enemy back with a chargeable belly attack. So a different variation of Patrick's little belly. Boom, boom, boom. It's so much fun just using the move on Patrick, and it'll launch you too, even though it's just a neutral light attack basically when he's standing. But Mr. Munch can have a stronger belly than Patrick does, so he'll be able to charge it up for some belly groove. And then break it down, a running attack where Mr. Munch can launch the enemy back with a flying drop kick. Break it down. But maybe he got some kind of catchphrase. I'm not sure what he could say though for this. Break it down. Gonna break it down. I don't know. But it's just some kind of running attack that I came up with. But I'm not sure what else he could say for maybe like a catchphrase when he uses this. In a recovery move, almost forgot to put recovery move for this. So, Munchathon. So I was thinking about Pac-Man when I came up with this. Well, Munchathon, Munch, Mr. Munch, whoever come out, whichever era of him, of whichever part of him comes out, Munch, Mr. Munch can float upwards rapidly, munching his way back into the fight. And as silly as it is, a Munchathon, you don't want him to you don't want to be near him when he does this. So this unique recovery can hit continuously. So for people that's sitting there camping on the edge guarding and all, Mr. Munch says no. So this unique recovery can continuously hit to help against players who are edge guarding. So if you're edge guarding, you don't want to be there. He's going to continuously be able to hit you. So he'll be able to launch you. And if he's in your direction and something else, I was thinking a little bit like Pac-Man and then Genie's recovery in a way. See how you have control of where you want to fly. So Mr. Munch, when you use the Munchathon, you have control in which you want him to bite in a direction, and you want him to start munching to perform his Munchathon in flight, to be able to float. You'll have control of where you want to bite. Somebody across, you can be able to control the thumbstick or the joystick. Some people would say the joystick or the control stick or thumbstick, whatever you play on, a mouse or whatever. You'll be able to have control of where you want him to go, and then he can hit more than one person, just in case it's two people there. So it's going to be like a invulnerable, basically. I think it'll be one of the best recoveries because you can't edge guard. So he'll be able to bite you upon contact. So he'll gain like super armor in some kind of way, if that makes sense. So it's fair. It doesn't last too long. You can still be able to probably have a chance to hit him, but you'll have to break through that super armor during the Munchathon. So trying to edge guard, it's going to be risky, especially if you have already a high percentage of damage. So I think that'll be something that I came up with. Well, something that'll fit his character and just his name and just the things that he can do. You know, Munch time, just be able to bite you, and then just a series of bites for Munchathon to be able to get back into the stage, and then have this limited time super armor, almost like how Reptar has it when he's charging up the fire to spew on the ground. So I think that'll be something that'll be amazing to see. But let me know what you guys think about his moveset. I really tried to make it make sense and something unique, a little goofy moveset, but I think he'll be a great character in this game. I'm just gonna be honest, they're probably not gonna get him in the game or consider a Chuck E. Cheese character or an animatronic from the band, but it's still awesome to really have to explore your options and really try to expand. And I think it'll be something funny to see. I would definitely get this character or any character that they bring in, but Mr. Munch, I think he's a great character and just one of the many animatronics. But I'm gonna say right now, this is the only Chuck E. Cheese member I'll probably end up creating. I mean, there's other band members. There's a lot of them. Let's just looking at them. Let's see, Chucky, Helen. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. It's like 9 or more, 10 or more additional band members. But this is the only Chuck E. Cheese character that I'll implement for this series. But that's why I wanted to at least include the other band members so people can know their names. And if you guys want to check them out and look them up, you can. They look kind of scary though, especially Mr. Munch. But I just wanted to make him sound like a force to be reckoned with, so I had fun creating this request, and I hope you guys enjoy it. But it's so much fun. They have so many different characters, a nice family-friendly character like Mr. Munch for Chuck E. Cheese. I mean, I don't know. They can make a game. They can make a video game from it, even if he doesn't get in. Mr. Munch can have his own game, and you can be able to play. It could be like, it can play like Guitar Hero, or Sing Star. I know all those different games. Sing Star, Guitar Hero, Rock Band. It could be something unique for him, even if he doesn't end up in this game, or if it's nowhere near possible. They can definitely create a video game for him.